What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Teddy Atlas, Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz. Get this. Teddy Atlas makes a precise prediction for Andy Ruiz, Jarrell Miller, and he states that his chin is unbelievable, okay? And this is what he said. He said, we always put that overweight label on Ruiz. But meanwhile, it's Miller who came in at 300 pounds and some 300 and something pounds. It's Miller who got the weight problem now, not Ruiz. And matter of fact, last time I saw some footage of Ruiz in training camp for this, he looked good. He got his head on straight. He won the title against Joshua. He knocked him out. Then he went way up in weight and he blew the rematch. He was living the big life. He wasn't ready for it. It happens, okay? And he says Ruiz is a good fighter. He can punch. He's got good hand speed. He knows how to fight, technically solid. He can box on the inside. He can walk you down. He knows how to counterpunch. I like Ruiz in this fight. If Ruiz wants to stand up in this crowd of heavyweights and get noticed, he is challenged with the task of stopping Miller because Dubois did. Can you outdo Dubois? That's the question he asked. He said it's not an easy task. Miller showed an unbelievable chin, great heart, and he can be dangerous too. I like Ruiz. I don't know if I want to go all the way on a limb to say late round stoppage, but I'm going to take Ruiz by decision. I'll give Miller enough credit for the heart that he showed. The problem is I don't know how damaged he is. And let me counterpunch. The wordful words of Teddy Atlas always gets me, right? He does have a way of articulating and breaking down certain people's passions and downfalls and attributes, right? But something I do want to counter for Teddy Atlas, okay? First of all, with Andy Ruiz, what he said about him. He said that Andy Ruiz has good hand speed, has good power. He can fight. He can fight on the inside. I agree with all that, except walking you down. He's not a fighter that walks you down. No. We learned that in the Joshua rematch. He's not a fighter that can walk you down. If he was that type of fighter, he would have had a better outcome in the rematch with Anthony Joshua when Joshua was challenging him for the belts back. Okay? Andy Ruiz is not a guy that walks you down. He didn't do that with old-ass Luis Ortiz. When Luis Ortiz, we all knew he was at least 46, 47 years old. Okay? And we knew he didn't even have punch resistance because he went down, 3 times in that fight? If that was the case, if he knew Luis Ortiz was that fragile, okay, at that point of his career, anybody that knows how to walk you down would have done so. He didn't do that. Okay, he didn't do that in any of the fights that he had from 2019 to 2021 to 2022. Okay, because this is the last time he ever fought, when he fought Luis Ortiz, right? So none of those fights he displayed any walking down ability. Walking down ability is when you're able to put punches together and cut off the ring and stop your opponent in your tracks with your activity, not his own, and make him submit. But he doesn't have that. I don't see him having that. A person like Andy Ruiz with the arm length, okay, or lack of, he has short arms, but they are fast. He has the Ruslan Pravandakov arms, the Manny Pacquiao arms. They're fast. Sure, they're fast, but they're also short. So anybody that has those shorter arms has to have good what? Footwork. And that's his downfall, okay? That's his shortcoming. Andy Ruiz has fast hands but slow feet. Okay? That's his problem. So he can't get in there and like Manny can, he can't come in there and get close enough to throw those combinations. Somebody has to come to Andy, not the other way around. So Andy's problem is he really can't take it to somebody unless that somebody is coming to him. Fortunately for him, Miller is that fighter. Miller is that guy that will come forward, that will give it a go, that will check your chin. And another thing or it's a question rather, might as well do a poll. Was Jarrell Miller damaged in the Daniel Dubois fight? Because one thing that I notice about a lot of fighters, they get hurt and damaged taking punishment round after round. Okay, that happens. And a lot of people are never really the same. I remember Fernando Vargas wasn't the same when he fought Felix Trinidad. Who else was never the Mildred Taylor? When Mildred fought Julio Cesar Chavez 1 and 2, he was never the same after those fights. You know, a lot of fighters get in there and fight these fights that they're just not the same type of fighters before they came in. It happens. You know, Adonis Stevenson, when he fought Vosnik, you know, these are just certain examples that I'm giving you. All right. But, you know, Miller, though, I don't think Miller is that damaged. I just don't think, right off the top of my head, you know, but he is a self-promoted character-based fighter. Okay. He shows character and he's a self-promoter. So he's going to talk shit between, you know, from the day from here until the day he dies, more than likely. You know what I mean? We can only know if he's damaged unless he takes a punch with Andy, which Andy is very good at counterpunching, which I did agree with Teddy Atlas with. And he is, he does have a good chin, his chin, his damn self. But is it better than Miller's? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this. If these guys can take each other's punches, it's going to be fist city all night. And it will depend on who lands the most of these punches. This fight may be one of the classics. If you really think about it, you got a guy that has short arms, that, you know, doesn't have good footwork, versus a guy that's bigger naturally, that he's a combination fighter as well. Don't punch probably as hard, but has maybe an equal or greater chin. You know what I mean? Those guys will fight all night. It'll be a classic. And then if it's a classic, you know, people will want to see it again and they can make their legacy with each other. Counterpunch. But you guys tell me what you think of Teddy Atlas's breakdown on Jarrell Miller versus Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.